All right. So in today's class, we'll see how we can handle web tables. And there are many types of tables, and we can call them as a static table or a basic HTML table, and dynamic tables, and then pagination tables. There are multiple designs are there. Based on the design, we can categorize them. So static table is nothing but the data is always static. The number of rows, number of columns, the data, everything is static. So they won't change every time. So the type of table is called static table. Same number of rows, same number of columns, same type of data every time will be there. There is no change in the number of columns. There is no change in the rows as well as in data. So such type of tables, we call them as a static HTML tables. And another type of tables which we have called dynamic tables means the number of rows and columns keeps changing. Even the data is also keep changing. So such type of tables are called dynamic tables. And the third category is pagination tables. So pagination table means the table, let's say I have 100 rows in my table, but at a time we can see only 10 rows. Then once you go to the next page, then we will see another 10 rows. Then again go to next page, then we will see another 10 rows. So we need to navigate through each and every page, then we will see rest of the records. So that is a type of table which is called as a pagination table. Depends on that. There are various types of designs are there. Basically, these are the three types of tables. Most of the times we can see on the web page. So today we will look at the static table, so that we need to understand some basic stuff about the table. So what is how we can represent the table row, column, how we can capture the data from the table. So the basic things we need to understand. So we will start with the static table. And once you understand about the static table and different type of operations we are going to do. So once you understood the static table, then we will see how we can handle dynamic tables and also pagination tables. Okay. So I will also providing the notes, right? So every day, mostly I'm providing the notes, everything I'll put inside the notes. I'm not writing anything so far. No issues. Okay. All right. So now let's go and create a new directory for today's class, day 25. Now inside this, I'm going to create a new Python file. So today I'm going to talk about static table, how to handle static table. So once we understood all the concepts of static table, then we will discuss about the pagination tables and dynamic tables. So I'm going to show you a number of tables with a different type of designs. Also, I'm going to give you more number of assignments on the table concepts. Okay. So first let us start with the static table. I'm just giving some module name called test underscore static table. Okay, now let's go to the page. So test automation practice.com. So in this, if I just scroll down the page, you can see the tables. This is the static table, a sample demo table I've given. And this is the dynamic table. So this data, rows, columns keeps changing every time when you refresh the page. Okay, so you don't see the same number. Data is there, but this data won't be displayed on the same row every time. So the columns, rows, everything is changed. This is the one of the example for dynamic table. And this is the pagination table. So here you can see there are only 5 records. You can see if I go to the next page, then rest of the records, then go to next page. So we need to keep navigating to each and every page. So then we will able to see all the data. So this is a sample pagination table. So apart from these 3 tables, I'm also going to show you some other type of tables so you guys can practice more on them. Actual on the e-commerce applications, actual how tables looks like. But before that, we need to understand how to handle them. So then we will start doing the practice on the actual tables on the applications. Okay. So now today we'll see how we can handle the static table, and we'll see various types of operations we can do on this static table. Okay. So first of all, we have already created new module. Now inside this, I'm going to import a package, required package, and then write def function, def test underscore static underscore web table, static underscore web table. So I'm passing page picture from the page class. Okay, so now first thing is what we need to launch our page. So let's say page.goto, I'm launching my page. And after that, so here the locators, what we are using is very important. And because we are going to work with the number of rows, columns, Again, each and every column data, rows data, everything we are able to capture and everything we should be able to assert. Okay, so the first thing before start working with any table, so we need to get the table first. We need to get the locator of this particular whole table. Because if you look at this table and see the DOM structure and try to understand the tags, what are the tags and attributes are available for the table. And if I look at this table, the table is a tag actually, right? And there is a name attribute available for this table called book table. This is a name attribute available for table. And in the insert the table every time, mostly we can see T body. T body is representing the whole body of the table. And if I look at inside the T body, there are multiple TRs are there. So every TR is representing one table row. Now, if I inspect this element, you can just notice here, when I place cursor on each and every TR, it is pointing to a different rows in a table. So the header part is also part of the first TR. And second TR, third, 4, 5, 6, 7. So every TR inside the T body representing one table row. Now, if you expand the first TR, there are multiple tags called TH. Here TH is representing table header. So you have book name, author, subject, price. These are the book headers of the table. So these are the headers kept inside the TH tag. So inside the first TR. But if I look at the second TR, the tag is got changed. TD. So actual data is started from the second row. So table data is always represented with the TD. Table data. So the first row is having TH, which is representing table header. The second row is having TDs. Each TD is representing a data in the first row. Now, if I go to another row, again, there is another TD tags. So every TR contains a multiple TD tags. And if I look at here, TR and TD or TH tags, it doesn't have any properties or attributes. But only the table is having one attribute called name equal to book table. Other than this, everything we should be able to access only through tags only. Okay. So first, before working with the table, let us capture the locator for this whole table. So how to write the locator for this table? Go to selector hub. I'm going to write a CSS. So I can use a tag called table. And you can see when I say table, 5 elements are matching. So that there are 5 different type of tables are there in this page. So we need to filter them. So to filter them, we need to provide the one of the attribute of the table. Let's say name equal to, and table name is what? Book table. So once you provide it, now it is actually pointing to the whole table. This is the locator we are going to use. This is CSS locator we are going to use to grab the table element. So first I'm locating the table, the complete table. So how we can locate page dot locator, specify the CSS. Specify the CSS. So this is actually table, but actually inside the table also, we are going to work with this table rows and table data. So where exactly the table rows and data is present inside the T body. So that also we need to specify. Give one space and say T body. So we need to provide this, and this is a complete table. Along with the T body, we captured because later on we will work with the table rows and columns, and they are actually present inside the T body. So this is the CSS we have captured, and then I'm storing into the variable called table. Okay, table locator. Now, if you want to check this table is visible or not, you can put one exception here, assertion, expect the table. And how we can check the visibility? Simple, to be visible. So this assertion will check the table is visible or not. So this is the first thing. So before performing any actions or before performing any operations on the table, we need to first capture the table in the form of locator and then verify the visibility. Now my first requirement from the table. First requirement. I want to count number of rows in a table and then verify them. Count total number of rows in a table, and even the count also we need to verify. This is my first requirement. Count a number of rows in a table. So if I look at this, uh, there are TR tags, right? So every TR is representing what? A row in a table. Every TR is representing a row in a table. And where exactly the TRs are present inside the table T body. So we have already created table T body locator, right? And if I give one space and say tr, see 7 elements are matching. Now what the CSS is doing is the CSS actually returning the 7 elements. Every row is representing one element here. So if I capture this locator, if I use this locator, this is actually returning 7 elements. So that is exactly equal to number of rows in a table, right? But till here, we have already captured the table earlier. So till here, we have already captured the table and stored them in a variable. So if you want to get all the TRs from this particular table, you no need to write the complete CSS. So instead of that, normally how we can capture the CSS, page dot locator, specify the complete. This is actually written all the rows. This is actually written the all the rows, and then we can easily count them. So you can use rows.count if you want to print the count. Or else if you want to put assertion, you can say expect rows dot to have count. So we have a method to have count is 7. This is a validation. Okay, but till here, we have already captured the table earlier. So what we can do is this table, I can use it here. Normally we use page.locator, right? But here we simply say instead of page, simply say table.locator. And this is one of the shortcut. Okay. So most of the times the locator method will be accessed through page class, page object. But here, because table is already captured, from where the table captured page.locator. So instead of writing this whole thing, you can just remove this now. Just put tr. So from the table, we are getting all the TRs. Locator is what? TR. TR is nothing but what is simple? A tag name. Okay. So table.locate. This is a shortcut actually. So don't confuse by seeing this. This is exactly equal to this one. Okay. So I'm just trying to reduce the codes equals to this one. So because we have already created the table, so we already captured the table into variable. So you no need to write this part because we have already captured that. So we are just reusing this table attribute here. This variable we are reusing here, and rest of the part only tr we need to specify. That you can specify using locator method. And this will actually return the rows and we can verify how many rows are there. Okay, this is the one. Again, if you want to count a number of rows and if you want to print them, what you can do, rows dot count. General method we have rows dot count. So this we can print. So we can create one variable called row count equal to, and then you can simply print number of rows in a table and simply say row count. Okay, so this is how we can validate or we can capture the number of rows in a table and we can validate number of rows in a table. So let's go and execute this. I'm just running the modification and say hyphen header mode, apply OK, and then run it. Perfect. Now, yeah, so number of rows in a table, exactly 7 it is returning, perfectly fine. Okay, so you can do another way. So first you can count a number of rows, and this row count you can pass it here instead of hard coding this value. So you just count the number of rows first and this row count, because if you don't know the number of rows initially, if you already know number of rows, suppose you are expecting some number of rows, you can hard code this value. Suppose if you don't know, then you can get the number of rows from the table that you can pass inside the assertion. That's another way. Okay. So this is my first requirement. Count the total number of rows in a table. Similarly, we can also count the number of columns or number of headers in a table. That's another requirement. Second, count total number of columns or headers in a table. Headers in a table. Exactly the same procedure. So we have already captured the table. And from the table, we grab all the TRs, table rows. But now, from the same table, from the first TR, we have to count the header part. So if I look at this table inside the dbody, if I go to first TR, so what are the tags which we have inside this? TH. So if you count how many TH tags are there here, that is exactly equal to number of columns or number of headers, right? So if you want to write CSS, how we can write? So table T body, TR, T body, TR, and then in the TR, TH, 4 elements. So when I say TR, by default, it will take first TR only. So TR in the TH. So this particular CSS is returning 4 elements, means 4 header tags are there. So we have already captured the rows till here. We have already used this path. Only thing is we need to specify the TH. Only thing is we need to specify the TH, right? So if I go back see and here, so we have already captured the rows here. From the rows, okay, I can say rows because the rows is not, but there are multiple rows are there, right? There are multiple rows. So rows dot, again, we need to use locator. So what I'm doing is instead of writing this whole thing, I'm just trying to reduce the code. Actually, how we need to write page dot locator, and this is how we need to write. So this will actually returns what number of columns or headers. Columns or headers will be returned. But if I look at this part is actually table. And when I add this tr, this is actually returning the rows. So we have already done this part here. So that's the reason I'm taking help of this rows. And instead of page locator, I'm using rows.locator. And because I'm using this rows is nothing but what this whole locator. So I'm trying to remove till here. I just specify the th. So this is exactly equals to what? Exactly equals to this one. tr and th also. So this will actually return the number of headers or column from the table. Okay. So once get it, then we can count how many are there. So we can add one assertion. Expect to take this columns dot to have count. So you're expecting 4. And again, if I want to get them and print, same procedure. So take this columns dot count. So this is giving the column count. Column underscore count. So this we will try to print here. Print number of columns or headers in a table. So this is a procedure we have to follow. So obviously we are expecting 4 here. Let's run this one more time. Yes, that is very important. Okay. So if you want to reuse those variables in the later session, so then you have to keep these variables alive because we already captured the rows. This is called as a chaining of locators concept, chaining of locators. Because if you already located something here, and for further elements, we can use the same variable here to identify or to locate the further elements. You can reuse this variable. So here I'm using table here. And I capture the tr and store them another variable. And here I'm reusing the same rows here, rows.locator of th. So now I got the columns. Okay, this is important. Okay, now, so we have find out the number of rows and number of columns. So far, we just worked only on the row and column number or row and column count. Now we'll try to work on the data of the table data. Okay. Yes, we should follow the proper sequence. Okay, so when you're recording this, suppose here table is already captured. So here I can use table. So here the rows is already captured. So here I can use the rows. So this is the dependent. Okay, until unless you get there, you cannot use rows here. Until unless you get the table, you cannot use table here. There's a sequence of actions. And if you're confusing about this, you can directly write the complete path, complete CSS. Yes, table, row, column. So that is a hierarchy. Okay, so now let us see another requirement, third requirement. So now we'll try to work with the data in the table. So I want to read all the data from the second row of the table. Let's see how we can achieve this. Read all the data from second row of the table. Second row of the table. I want to read all the data. All the data means what? All the columns data. All the data in the sense, all the columns data from second row of the table. Now, if I look at here, actually, the first row is a header part. So we can simply ignore that. So the data is started from second row here, right? So I want to capture the data from this particular row. So I want to capture these values. Learn Selenium, Amit, Selenium 300. So these are the values I want to capture, not the header part. So I want to capture this one. So to capture this row, we already captured all the rows previously. Have you remember here? Yes. In the first step itself, we captured all the rows from a table. Now what I'm going to do is, I'm going to use that rows. And from that rows, which row you want to capture? Which one? The first one or second one? Second row, because the first row is a header. We can ignore it. Now we need to capture the second row. So to specify the second row, we have one method here. In the last class also I have told you. So there are here rows are nothing but what? Multiple elements. I want to capture specific element. Yes, dot nth of 2. So this is actually written the first row. That means a second row, because first row is a header part. It will return the second row. Okay, now this is actually returning the entire row. This is the one. This is the one. Because when I say 1, that will return the header part. When I say 1, that will return the header part. But I want to work with the data, not the header part. So here I want to get all the data, first row data. From the first row, I'm saying, okay. So how to get the data from the first row? If I go back and see the DOM, this is my first row. So this is my first row means headers part. You can ignore it. So now it's the second row. And the CSS which we specified here, the rows, which is actually pointing all the rows. But we specify dot nth of 2. That means a second row. So in the second row, we want to get this data. So to get this data, in which tag the data is accumulated here in TD tag. TD. So we need to write the proper locator for this. So simply what you can do, dot locator, because we already capture all the rows. From the rows, we captured nth row. And in nth row, what is the locator we have to use here is TD, because we want to get table data. So this will actually returns all the table data, not all the table data. So the second row data, second row, all the columns, second row data basically. So I'm getting stored into a variable. I can call this a second row cells or data, whatever. Okay, now this is how we can capture the data from the specific row and specific all the columns, specific row, all the columns. Okay, now what is exactly this second row cells? Is it a list or a locator? So from the rows, second row, capture the second row. From all the rows, capture the second row. In the second row, I captured all the TDs. They are all basically what? The locators only. So from these locators, we want to get the text. From each TD, we have to extract the text values actually. So how to extract the multiple text values? In the previous class, I have told. So two methods. All text contents or all inner text. Okay, better to go with all inner text. So now I'm using dot all underscore inner text. So this is actually written the values in the second row, all the columns. So now I'm going to store them inside another variable. Okay, so what I can do is, first of all, I have already stored inside this second row cells. Take this variable. From the second row cells, dot all inner text. Now I'm going to store in another variable, second row texts. Okay, so here these are the locators and here actual text. These are the actual text. Now if you want to print them, so in which format it is? It is a list format. So once it's turned into list format, so we can directly print or we can use a looping statement also. I'm just trying to print them first. So I say second row data. Second row data is what I'm just printing here. Second row data is second row text. Because it's a list collection, I'm just directly print. And if you want to add a session, we can also add a session. Let me first run it. So what we have done here is we have just captured the second row data from the table. Now you can look at this. This is the data we have. from the second row, exact the same data. Now we want to assert this data is correct or not. So how we can do assertion on the data? So value assertions we don't have, and we can put the assertion on what second row cells, because which contains the locators basically, right? So I can put expect of second row cells, because on the values we cannot put assertions, and dot here we can use to have text. So what type of text it should contains? This is the how. This we need to specify. The whole thing we need to specify. Okay, so because the second row cells contains the text means what? This written all the collections. So we should not use this one. Why? Because this is in the value format, all the text. We cannot put assertion on it. But we can put the assertion on the locator. So second row cells is a locators, which contains a multiple cells. And those cells should have this particular data. So this is how we can put one assertion also. Let me run once again. This is specific row validation, specific row and data validation. So now my test is passed. This is the data we got it from the table. Okay, so now we can print it, right? Because it's a simple list collection it is returning. So this is the actual output of this particular statement. Now, can we print these values individually one after another? Yes. So how we can print this? Simply using for loop. So for text in, and we already captured this for second row text. So from the second row text, we will read each and every text one by one into this text, and then simply print the text. So by using looping statement also, we can simply print the well. So if you want, I can use some print statement here. Print of printing second row data. Okay, now let me run it. Okay, so you can look at this. So whatever data we have in this list, same data is got printed one after another. So this is one type of requirement. So we can read all the data, not only from second row, whichever row you want, you can read it. So you can just pass 3, 4, 5 up to 7, because there are multiple rows are there. But in every row, there is a TD tags. So the data corresponding to that particular row will be returned into this variable. And after that, we can capture all the text and then we print it. And this is assertion we can put like this. Okay, so now in this scenario, I have just read only a specific row data, but I want to read the data from all the rows. That means the whole data from the table, I want to read all the rows and all the columns of data I want to read. So that is another requirement. Let's see how we can achieve this. Fourth, read all the data from the table, excluding header. Header is, if you want to print header separately, you can print it. That we don't need. Actual data is started from the second row. Okay, so now how we can read all the data from the table. So in the first scenario, we have already captured all the rows. All the rows means what? Which is also include columns also. So every row is representing what? Every TR is representing the entire row. Entire row means what? Again, which includes the columns also. So TR1 means this is the one. TR2 means this one. TR3 means the whole thing. So when I say TR, which includes the TD also. So here, if you want to capture the data from all the rows, what does it mean? Which includes the TD also. So I'm taking the help of these rows. Rows means what? All the rows in a table. So take this rows, all the rows from a table. And after that, you can use one method called all. Yes. Now you should tell me. In the last class, we have seen this method, all method. So here, nth method will start from, you can see this 0 or 1. So runs locator nth matching element. It is a 0 based. Yeah, nth method start from 0 only. Nth method start from 0 only. Okay, but when you say count here, when I say rows here, locator.th, Where is rows? Yeah. So when I say row here, I said only TR, right? So TR means it is returning all the TRs. So basically it returns 7. But how many rows are there actually here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Including header, there are 7 rows are there. Including header, 7 rows are there. Okay, so what we need now, so we just exclude the header part. I want to get it from here. So obviously what this is a first one and this is a second one. So here we are just taking 1, not 0. Because here the rows we have filtering actually. In the rows itself, we are not taking the header. So here we are taking the header. But when you see here, where is nth 2? Are we getting the data correctly? First of all, let me check it once. So let me run it. Okay. So this is the data we got it actually. So learn Java, Mukesh Java 500. Yeah, this is the one guy. Sorry. Nth method will start from 0. So I've given 2. 2 means what? This is a 2 actually. So when I say 1, then you will get this one. Okay. So let me pass 1. So second row of the table means we need to, second row is nothing but what? This is a second row only, right? So that's the reason in that context I provided that. So second row means this is a second row. This is the first row and this is the 0 row. So as I said, nth method start from 0 only, but we want to get the second row data. So which one is second row? This is second row, not this one. So accordingly, this is a right one. So here nth index start from 0 1. So I'm writing nth index starts from 0 only because we are eliminating the header part. So we don't consider 0, 1, 2. Okay, now come back here. Now I want to read all the data from the table. So all the data means what? We already captured all the rows in the beginning. So when I say rows, rows is nothing but again, this is a locator. All the TRs from the table. Again, every TR having multiple TDs. Now when I say rows.all, what this will do actually? What is this all method will do? This will actually convert the locators into a list format. Do you guys remember this? Converting all the locators into list format. So list of locators, yes. So what this method will return now, it will return list of all the rows, each row locator, list of each and every row locator. So that I'm going to store in variable. I can call this all row underscore data, all row underscore data. So what is all method will do basically? It returns the list of locators, all row data I'm calling. Okay, so now from all row data means what? It is again locators, right? Locators. So each and every TR is representing one locator. So now I'm going to write a looping statement to get the data from the table from each and every row. This is one TR, another TR, another TR. So this is every TR. Again, every TR means the data is there. So this whole thing is one TR. This whole thing is one TR. This is another TR. This is another TR, and this another TR. So we got all the rows in a all row data. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just writing one for loop for row in all row data. Okay, again, one more thing here. All row data, from where we need to start? Not from the header. We should exclude the header. Header part is what? 0. So from where we need to start? From the 1 we need to start. So we use one slicing operator called 1 colon slicing. Okay. And this is a looping statement. So inside this, so what is this row actually? This is the row locator. And from this particular row, can we extract the TD from this row? Can we extract the TDs? We currently, let's say we are focusing this entire row. So from this row, we need to extract all the TDs. So for that, row dot locator of TD. So this will actually return the TD. And not only TD, from the TD means what again? From the particular row, TD means what? It is again matching with all the TDs, all the columns in a row, all the columns. But I want to capture the text of all the columns, text of all the columns related to specific row. So here followed by I'm using all inner text. All inner text. So this is actually written the text from each and every column, which is belongs to a particular row, because we are taking first row here. From that particular row, capture all the TDs. From all the TDs, get all inner text. And that I'm going to store in a variable called as a columns. And then I'm going to print it here. I say calls. So it will print each and every column one by one. Okay. So let's go and execute now. So printing second row data here, and here printing data from all the rows and columns. So first time, what will happen? It will take the first row. From the first row, it will read all the TDs and get all the inner text and printing. Second round, it will take another row. Again, grab all the TDs, capture inner text, and again it will print. So it will repeat multiple times. By the time it is completed, we will get all the rows and columns from the table. Let's run it now. So the data from all the rows and columns, we'll able to retrieve using looping statement. Okay. Now we can just look at this. So this is the data of first row, second row, third, 4, 5, and 6. So we got all the data from all the rows as well as all the columns. So this is how we can, it is just for printing purpose. We cannot put any assertion on this. Okay. This is one type of requirement. So we have seen how to extract a specific row data in the third requirement. And the fourth requirement, we have seen how to retrieve all the rows data, not only first row or second row, how to read all the rows data. Now, how we can retrieve the data based on certain condition, means conditional based retrieving of data from the table, conditional based. Let us say I have another requirement. Let's say fifth one. I want to print book names where author is Mukesh. Okay, this is my requirement. Print book names whose author is Mukesh. That means what? Here you can look at this. So there are multiple book names are there, and whichever book is written by Mukesh, only I want to print those books. And what are the books are written by Mukesh? This is the one. Learn Java and Master in Selenium. So these are the two books written by Mukesh here. So I want to print only those books written by Mukesh, not everything. This is how we can retrieve the data from the based on the condition. Okay, so let's see how we can achieve this first. Very simple logic. First, we need to grab all the authors from each and every row. We have to grab each individual author one after another. At the time of grabbing these values, whenever the Mukesh is matching, then go to the first column and get the value. And after that, again, repeat. Go to the next author, not matching. Go to the next author. Yeah, here it is matching. So whenever the matches happen, then go to the first column and get the value. So like this, we need to repeat the looping statement. So the main focus is on what? Author column, because the condition is based on the author column. So in author, we need to repeat we need to first grab each and every author name from this particular column. From every row, we need to extract this column. So first, let us achieve this first. How can capture all author names from each and every row? Okay, so we will think about books later. First, how we will get the author name from each and every row. So for that, what I'm doing is I'm just writing one for loop for, we already written this, right? So let's go and use it. So what this loop will be, it will printing all the rows and all the data. But here, I want to get the same thing in the row, but in the row, instead of getting all inner text, I don't want to get all inner text. I want to get the, which column it is, other column, this first column, second column. When I use nth method, again, this is a 0 column, first column. In the first column, author name is there. So what I'm going to do is locator of td dot nth of 0. So this is actually written the author name, right? This is actually written the author name. So nth of 0 or 1. So author name I want. Which column it is? This is the 0 and 1, right? 1 means author name. And now go back. dot. So from this particular nth of 0, we need to extract the text value. So inner text, inner text. So this will return the actual author name. So I'm just storing into a variable called author name, author underscore name. Okay, so let's try to print this first and we'll see whether it is printing all the author name from all the tables, not only one tr. From every row, I'm locating td. Means what? If I use till here, this is pointing all the tds in the specific row. But I want to get only the 0 column. So 0 column is representing what? Actually book name, but we need author name. Author name is what? 1. Author name is first column because nth method starts from 0. 0 is what? 0 is a book name. 0 is a book name. If I put 0, that is written in the book name. When I say 1, this is written in the author name. But for now, I need only author name. Okay, let's try this method and see. So for now, I just comment this part. Let's execute now. So we'll see whether it is properly printing all author names or not. Perfect. Now we can look at this. These are the author names. Amit, Mukesh, Animesh, Mukesh, Amod, and so we got all the author names. But this is not our requirement. So if the author name is Mukesh, then what we should do, we should get the name of the book. Wherever the author name is Mukesh, then we have to jump to the 0 column and grab the name of the book. So instead of printing, we need to put if condition. If author name equal to Mukesh, this is how we need to put the author name equal to Mukesh. Okay, then what we should do now? We should get the book name. We should get the book name of the from the same row. Don't forget this. Okay, from the same row, we grab the first TD and capture the author name. If author name is equal to Mukesh, what we need to? From the same row, we need to grab the TD of the 0 column. 0 column is representing what? Book name. So here we just use same thing. Row dot locate of TD. Instead of nth of 1, we use nth of 0. This is actually book name. So when we have to grab this book name, if author equal to Mukesh. Okay, if author equal to Mukesh. Now this is actually returns the book name. Here we have an author name. Here this is what? This is a book name. Book name. So we know author name and book name. So when you will get the book name, if author equal to Mukesh, then only we will get the book name and then print it. So at the time of printing, I want to print author name along with the book name. Both I want to print. So just print author name. And then you can give one tab space /t. And then you can just print book name like this. When I say /t between two variables, it is not allowed. So what we need to do, we need to keep this in the curly brace. I'm just trying to format it. This is one value and this is another value, book name. These are the variables basically, right? And we need to use one operator called F for formatting purpose. F double equal to. And we need to keep everything inside the double equal to. Yeah, that is also works perfectly. You can put this /t in the double quotation also. Okay, anything is fine. Okay, so everybody's understood this logic. So first we have captured the, from all the rows, we are capturing first row. From the first row, we captured the author name. Where is author name? In the second, first column. And once you get an author name, they are comparing with Mukesh or not. If it is a Mukesh, from the same row, 0 column. 0 column contains a book name actually. Here, the first column contains author name. From the same row, in the 0 column contains a book name. So now we are printing both. So this is how we can extract book names and along with the author names. Okay. So now let's print it. So I'm just writing simple description here. Printing books names written by Mukesh. Okay. And similarly, you can also check this condition. Whichever author you put here, accordingly, it will read all the books. Okay, perfect. Now you can see this is Mukesh author name and book name, author name and the book name. So currently this author is written only 2 books. Now we are able to extract them. Okay, so depends on the condition. First, we need to understand how we need to read through data, in which way we can read through the data. Accordingly, we need to frame the logic. Okay, now we'll see one last requirement. Sixth one. So in the same table, I want to find the total of all the prices, all the books. Each and every book is having specific price. So I want to find out what is the total of these prices, total prices. We need to add all the prices and we need to compare with our expected price. I want to compare with all the prices and we need to expected this. We need to uh, find the total prices. Okay. So let's see how we can do this. So from which column we have to extract from the table? Same logic, slightly we need to change it. So whatever logic we have implemented, same type of a logic. So we need to get the last column data. So where the prices are exist here in the last column. Actually, what's the column number according to the nth method? 0, 1, 2, 3, third column, right? So go and implement the same logic. So we will take this particular logic. So here, calculate total price of all the books. Okay. Okay. So now let us see this. This is our requirement. So indentation is very important in Python. Okay. Yeah. So what this logic will do, this will print all the data from all the rows, all the columns, but this time I want to calculate. Okay, so we don't need this. Let's go and run this. So for row in all the rows data. So I'm reading each and every row in this. Again here, row.locator of TD. Instead of getting all inner text, here we want to get nth one. Nth of which TD? Nth of 3. 3 representing the actual, the last column, which contains the prices. And dot inner text. Dot inner text. So this is actually written as what? Price item will be written. So that I'm going to store. Everything will be written in the text format. Everything will be written in the text. Inner text is a text method row. Even though this price is a number, it will written as a text format. Can we do arithmetic operations on the text format of value? So here we got the price. That is fine. But I want to add each and every price, right? So first I want to gap this price. Then I want to gap it and add to the 300. Then again gap another one, add to the existing one. So every time we need to add. So just very simple logic we need to follow here. So how to do sum of multiple values? So we need to take one simple variable total or sum, initially 0. So first we need to take the 300, add to the sum. Next to 500 plus 500. Next to 300 plus 300. So every time when you read this data, the sum of the previous values should be maintained in a variable that we should not lose, right? So every time when you grab the new value, we need to keep adding to the existing value. So we need a temporary variable called sum. So let us use this variable now. Go back and here I'm just written sum or total price, total underscore price. Let me make it as a 0 initially. Okay, so now here row dot locator of TD nth and inner text will return the price. So we need to add this price to what? Total price. So how we can add them? Can we do like this? Total underscore price equal to, sorry, total underscore price equal to total price. We need to maintain the existing value. So total price plus price. Can we do like this, the calculation? Can we do like this? No. You will get a type error. Why? Because whatever price we have extracted, that is in the string format, text format. But here the total price is integer format. And ultimately, we should also get the value from the integer format. Okay, so we need to typecast this variable price. How we can do typecasting? simple. We need to put that in the int method, integer. Done. And the same expression we can simply write in shortcut. How we can write? Instead of writing many things, you can say total price plus equal to int of price, which is actually a shortcut method. So we can use this shortcut. This is the shortcut method. Okay, so just total price equal to total price plus actual price which we capture. So once this loop is completed, it will read each and every price one by one and add to the total price. And finally, because we cannot put assertion on the total price because total price is a value, we can simply print them. So print the total price, just comma, total price. That's it. Okay, let's run it. Done. So now we got a 7100. Okay, so this is how we need to actually work with the table rows and table columns. Everywhere we have used CSS only. So because most of the time we prefer to use CSS. Additionally, we have to take the help of nth method. If you have a multiple elements and if you have to extract a specific element from the multiple elements, always try to use nth method. So this is provided by Playwright itself. Okay, but if you are going to use in any XPath where we have another concept called indexing concept, you can provide the index there. But here indexes won't support in CSS. Okay, so this is a simple a static table, but sometimes the rows keeps changing, columns keeps changing, data keeps changing. So such type of tables called as a dynamic table. If I look at this dynamic table, see you can look at this other. First one, system Firefox, right? So when you refresh this page, and if I look at the data, it keeps changing. You can see now it is changing. Chrome, system, Firefox. Similarly, the CPU percentage, memory, these things keep on changing. Even columns keep on changing. The order of the columns also keep changing. Now, what's the first column here? Name. But after refreshing, this time the first column will be something different. See, the first column is still name. Again, refresh it. See, again, first column is, I think first column is same, but rest of the columns keep changing. Now, second column is what? CPU. Now, if you refresh this, second column will be something different. See, now second column is a network. Similarly, the columns can interchange. Similarly, the data rows also interchange. So initially, the first row is having Firefox. Now, if you inspect it, if you refresh the page, now first row is having Chrome data. So this keeps changing. So this type of tables also we should able to handle. So in the next class, I will talk about dynamic table and also we'll see how we can handle pagination tables. So you guys can try these two as an assignments actually, but I will show you dynamic table, pagination table on the different applications in e-commerce applications. And after that, you can try these two tables as part of our assignments. Okay. So that's it for today's class. I'll stop here. We will continue in the next class.